Hi everyone, David here, and I am going to go over how to make a small bowl. The small bowl is the easiest thing for a beginning potter to learn how to make. So we're going to go ahead and slice up several things of clay and weigh them and wedge them, and then I'm going to show you the step-by-step instructions on how to throw a small bowl. And this is a beginning pottery lesson. Alright, so in other words, you advanced potters can just ignore it. For a small bowl, you can do anywhere from under a pound to a pound and a half, maybe even 2 pounds. Probably be the maximum size for a small bowl. And probably going to throw, I think I have space on my board over there for maybe another 4 or so bowls. So we're going to do about a pound and a half in this demonstration. Now you can throw bowls off the hump as well, but that is not something I'd recommend for a beginning potter. We'll weigh this. There we go. Wedge it up. And again, you don't have to wedge the way I do by any means. You just want to make sure it's in a doesn't have air bubbles and that you can work it. Sometimes wedging though is handy because the clay sometimes comes very stiff, and just a little bit of working it makes it feel a lot better. So just drop it. So if you're a beginning potter and didn't know how to wedge and so forth, you could just take it and slam it down like this repetitively. Just drop a piece. So that's always a problem. Falls on the floor. But you get the idea. You can do this a whole bunch, and there you go. I will cover that in other things in other videos, but or have covered it. So here's your piece, and that works too. So I'll just wedge it the way I do. Let's see, I said 4, so I'm going to do 4 of these, and I'll probably just give you verbal instruction for 2 of them, so this video isn't too long. There we go. That up. There we have it. Alright, we'll move these blocks over to the wheel and get throwing. Here is our little bits of clay that we wedged up. So we're just going to throw some basic bowls. Now, as a beginning potter, you might not want to spin your wheel, but it's useful to know where the middle is, and then you can just throw it down on there. Always, lots of water. I also find it useful, especially for beginners, to try and push down on the clay first. That way you aren't pushing this way and popping it right off the wheel. If you're having a lot of problems keeping the bit of clay on the wheel, you can put the clay on and then push down along the edge, kind of pressing little bits of it onto the clay, or onto the mat, I mean. And that's effective. That helped me a lot when I was a little kid, to keep things on the wheel. Now, when you're centering takes practice, and you can take a piece of clay and just keep working at it until it's reasonably well centered. Now, if you have trouble centering, one of the things can be, you're not bracing yourself correctly. So you want your arm on your thigh, at the very least. And if you're really having trouble, you can put it on the inside of your thigh so you can really get some torque with your knee and body. And you're bracing yourself all the way to the floor with your foot. And then the other hand is also braced and touching this one, so it makes you very stable. You can even rest your hands arms on the splash pan to help make it even more stable. For small things like a small bowl though, I do cheat and just use my upper body strength. Although my left hand is almost always resting on my knee while I'm throwing. And just make a little spot there. I like having a level or more level surface when I'm about to open up a piece of pottery. So take that, and with a small thing like this, I'll just use my thumb. Push it down, and there I've opened it up. Can't really see how far I've opened it, but it's a little ways. Now for these bowls, bowls are fun because you can make so many variations on the shape. You can do tall bowls, you can do wide bowls, you can do flat-based bowls, straight up sides. You can do all types of shapes. The shape I'm going to do today is just a slowly arcing out bowl, so it doesn't have a flat bottom. It's going to have a curved bottom, so I'm not going to use the compression tool that I normally use. I'm not even going to use the curved one because it's not necessary. See, all I did there was pull it out slightly and open it up, and it almost threw itself. Don't worry, I'll be doing a whole bunch. Well, I'll do all 4 of these, or at least 2 of them, with instructions. And it's done. Now, you could mess with it more, but your basic element is done. And there's no reason to do more to it. I could try and throw it thinner, but it's already pretty thin. And it's a nice little bowl. And there's enough stuff down here that I can make a small foot on it. I don't know. Come on with me there. Now, when I use the stick, you have to make sure that it's angled down and pressing against the wheel or the back surface. So, and as you push it in here a little bit, you're just making a small groove for your wire and your lifters. Now, a lot of people hesitate and are a little worried about having the wheel going while they cut through, and if you don't want to, it's fine. You can just pull it straight through and not have the wheel go. Now, some potters, we can lift it off with their fingers, which I could do, but it'll probably distort. Or you can slide it off if you aren't using a splash pan. You can put another piece of wood there, put some water and slip down right here and just slide it off onto that piece of wood. But I use these lifters, and that does distort some pieces, but it's not too bad, and it's a lot faster than those other ways. Well, at least the board slip. So there's one. So now let's do another one. So again, just throw down the piece of clay. And again, I always recommend pressing down first to start, and then you can start to center it going up, and then back down. And again, I'm mostly cheating on just using my upper arm strength, but again, I am anchored on my left hand pretty much 100% of the time when throwing. Well, close to. So, you know when it's centered because it'll just feel centered. You can also test by taking your finger and going around, see, and as it touches, you can tell where it's centered and where your finger isn't touching. This clay right here is a little stiff, and that's another issue, is if you're having a lot of trouble, your clay could be a little too hard, so that's something to pay attention to. And if you're applying pressure and it's just literally mushing around your hands, then your clay is way too soft. Both fixes are pretty easy. A bag and water can change it all. Well, a bag and water can change your harder clay. You don't want to add too much water because then it will become too mushy. But if it's mushy clay, just leave it out. It might dry a little. Alright, and again, we flatten the surface. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my thumb and push down a ways. Done. And as you can see, I'll do it like this, even though you don't want to, you never want to, okay. If you are a left-handed person, you want a wheel that'll spin clockwise. If you are right-handed, you want one that spins counterclockwise. Just because you want the clay sliding through your fingers and not coming at you as you're trying to work. So, being right-handed, I never throw on this side of the pot. Everything happens on this half. Alright, but anyway, so what I'm showing here is about how deep I went with that. Almost to the knuckle. Now, you can't see it unfortunately because of the angle. Maybe I'll change the angle here in a moment on the next one. And I'm just going to pull it out with my thumb and up a little bit. Now, I will be not throwing, but I will be holding tension with my pinky here. Kind of pressing the clay up and against my hand. And that's like, and even right there you have a teeny bowl. Granted, it would be way too heavy, but you know, it's kind of useful. So now I'm going to use the secret, which is, in my opinion, the best bit of throwing you can do is with the secret. It's easy to control, and gives you a good amount of throwing. So all I did there was I took my middle finger and my thumb, and the two of them are pressing in the same spot, and I just pulled it up and out like that. Now you'll notice that a lot of times my other hand is touching the pot, so it's just kind of bracing and feeling. It's not totally necessary. It just helps me determine how things are going through my sensory contact with the clay. Now I'm going to throw with my fingers. Beginning potters, you can try and use your knuckle because you're more stable, right? But notice my hand is now on the knee. This one is tight to the side because you can't, you know, it's a little hard to do that. You could do it. But now notice my hands are going to touch and interlock like this before I throw. You want to touch and interlock it as often as possible so that you can control every bit of the clay and know exactly where things are. So now I'm just throwing that up and out. It's more of a shaping throw than anything else. And there we go, another low, wide mouthed bowl. Great for eating anything out of it. And again, I'm just going to press down with the tool there. And cut this off. These are lifters. Now often, you can lift straight up, but a lot of times it will distort slightly, so I always twist. That's the reason I twist slightly, is to prevent or decrease the amount of distortion that you get by lifting it off of the wheel. Alright, I am going to go ahead and change the angle, hopefully to a nice downward area so you can see me throw on the inside, and then we will be done. Now you'll be able to see down into the pot as I throw this third one. Again, lots of moisture. Press down first. And that's definitely not centered, is it? Again, you're doing it mostly by feel. I mean, I could just, you know, close my eyes and do this, of course. I've been doing it for quite a while, but it's all about the feel of the clay in your hand there. And there we are, we're centered. Now again, I like to smooth it off there. And the same, we even have a little small air bubble there. Pop that. And it's a slight depression. And now I'm going to use my thumb again to open. Press down away, it's probably about right there. Feels good. And again, depth-wise, it's experience mostly, and the feel. But what you can do, especially if you're a beginner and you're not sure how deep you're getting on, you can put a needle tool down like that, reach your finger in, feel that, and that's how deep you you have from the tip of my finger to the end. That's how deep the base is right now. And that does not, it'll fill up, it just fills up as you're throwing it, so it's not an issue. Now again, I'm going to open it up. I'm going to open it up this way because it's small. Now if I was having a lot of trouble and it was a much bigger item, I'd probably be using both hands to open and pulling towards me. But this is small and I can just do it with one hand. And so I open it up. And now I'm opening it up upwards. I'm purposely having my thumb travel upwards slightly because I want a curved bottom. If I was trying to do a flat bottom, I'd open it up straight and then use my compression tool here to straighten it out even more and make sure that it was all set. And all I was doing was pushing my thumb against my hand. And now here's the C grip again. So I'm going to put that right there. And I slowly pull it up and out. Like that. Now one of the things as a beginning potters have a tendency to do is to release the clay too quickly. If you've ever driven in ice or snow, the trick there is no sudden movements. And the same thing is true about pottery. No sudden movements. So when you go to begin pressing down the clay, you just do it slow and steady. You don't suddenly jerk it or change what you're doing. And when I'm done, see, I've been done for a little while, but my hand is still here, I slowly release it. And that stops it from getting all out of whack. So we'll just do a quick example with this last bowl that I'm throwing for this video. If I was to do it quickly, like that, see, I wasn't slow and I wasn't steady. It totally distorts it. If, do another one, if I was throwing this bowl, after I smooth that out, if I was throwing it, doing a good job, right, I'm applying pressure, but then suddenly let go, you see how it made a little wiggle in it? That's because I suddenly let go. It's the lack of pressure makes the clay respond as well. So you have to apply your pressure slowly and steadily. It doesn't mean that you can't throw fast. It just means that you need to be steady and consistent throughout. And we've basically fixed that bowl. So there we go. That is a video of how to throw a small bowl, and it's a very beginning, lesson for anybody who's thinking or trying out pottery. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed.